Good morning. We're coming to you from Locked In Escape Rooms. Our host today for this week's pop-up networking event with PromoteClay Networking Solutions is John Nicholls. And we're located at the shops of the Silo. And what's the address, John?
2219 County Road 220, and we're Unit 303.
Okay, so everyone's heard about these escape rooms, but we're here live. And we'd like to let John take it away. So tell us a little bit about your story and how you got here and so forth.
Okay, well, my wife, Marsha, come on over here real quick. She didn't probably want that, but anyways, this time we're John and Marsha. Okay, so as a family, we took a European vacation about 5 years ago. We were looking for something to do in the evening. We were in Budapest, and we looked something up, and it said escape rooms. We had no idea what they were, what it was. We went. As a family, we played and we were instantly hooked. We had a wonderful time. It just so happened it was a Egyptian theme, and one of our legs of our vacation was actually going to be in Egypt, into Cairo, and going into the pyramids. And so we played this escape game, had a great time, went to Cairo on that trip, played, went through all that stuff, had a good time, came back. Never thought anything more about it. Then we visited our son in Orlando, found out there were escape games there, so we played a couple. Visited our son in Miami, played some escape games there. Weren't aware of any local. And so 3 years ago, last December, my son and I went out to Denver, Colorado to do some skiing. In the evening, we looked for something to do, and we said, oh, there's an escape room here, so we went and played it. Now, the other games that we'd all played had been franchises, big old, companies, and so. But this one just happened to be was a single lady, and she just decided she was going to make her own escape room. She did so below a dentist office, and you just went in under the dentist office, and she had her space. She had it all set up. She had 3 different games, and it was a little bit less than the big franchises. But it was still a lot of fun. And so we had a great time. And then on the trip home, my son and I were just talking about our experiences, and we were talking about the escape room a little bit. And we started brainstorming, and like, well, you could do this idea. What about this? And we started, thinking of all these great ideas. And by the time we got home, we said, we should do that. And so the first thing I did is I sat down with Marsha, and you had one of those, those conversations. You just said, "Hey, we
I have this idea.
Let's have a chat."
Life-changing idea.
And I just said, "What do you think of this?" And then she was just like,
I was like, "Are we really smart enough to do this?"
So we just said, "Okay, well, let's think about it." And so we started to think about it, and then I made one call. My call was to Mike Sella. He's a county commissioner here, but I've known Mike from the business world. I've known him from another networking group and from our real estate business, and he owned Jump Zone locally. So I knew that Mike would have a little bit of a pulse. So I invited him out to lunch. I sat down with Mike and I said, "Mike, right off the bat, I said, I'm thinking of opening up an escape room. What do you think?" Not even knowing if he even knew what they were. And he said, "That's a great idea. You should do that." I said, "Okay." So then I went down to my bank, BBVA, and I said, "Hey, what do you think of me getting a small business loan?" And they said, "It's a great idea. Why don't you do it?" And then finding the location. I wanted to be on Fleming Island because we're Fleming Island. I looked all over the place. I couldn't afford the rent. I couldn't find the space. And so I just started broadening out Orange Park, and then I said, okay, well, maybe Middleburg. And I typed in Middleburg, and this location is 5 minutes from my house. I couldn't find a space closer to our house if we wanted to. And the beautiful thing in here is we were able to actually purchase this space. Because a lot of businesses like ours, you get a lease, and then all of a sudden the lease expires or something, and then you're stuck, or they tell you to leave. So we were able to buy this space. It was an empty shell. There was absolutely nothing here. And so even before we got and we just started, Marsha and I, we just started brainstorming, thinking about themes and games and gameplay and room design. And so we got a little CAD program and started to figure it out a little bit, and got the loan closed, bought property, the first thing I did is I went down to Home Depot. I have a pickup truck.
Home Depot knows us.
Yes. And I put in as much 2x4s as I could. Came in, laid out just the roofs, just on the ground, took some pictures and said, dreamed. And then my son came into town and we just couldn't help ourselves. We just started, got a nail gun and we just started building. We didn't even have an architect at that point. Hadn't gotten all our permits or everything. We just couldn't help ourselves. But then we got our ducks in a row, got our architect, got our plans, and then as a family with friends and that, we built this, we built it. We framed everything, we drywalled, we painted, we decorated, we hired the contractors we needed, the plumbers, the electricians, the AC people, and then a few specialty people where, you know, like in this particular room, I hired some people to do the drywall and such, put in the drop ceilings, things that I didn't know how to do, but pretty much everything we could do, we did ourselves. And we took our time, we spent over a year building out, framing up everything, and 2 years ago, this May, we opened up our first game.
Which is Pharaoh's Revenge. So we did an Egyptian game because we just liked Egypt. It's something fun. You can take your family to Egypt. And we're just having fun here.
It's a blast. One of the reasons we decided to do it, because we are in clay and this is a clay group, so I just want to let you know, we get tired of driving to Duval for everything in Jacksonville and going across the Buckman. You know, everything, all the escape rooms, when we started building, we found out, well, there are other escape rooms locally, I just didn't know that they existed. There were a few, and they were all on the other side, off of Phillips Highway and Hodges and such like that. And so we played them, but it took us, you know, a good 30, 40 minutes to get over there and back. And so we said, we need something here in clay that's fun, just for us. It was interesting. It didn't take us long to become the #1 attraction for things to do in Middleburg on TripAdvisor.
Almost right away. We are so proud of that.
Shut up.
So proud.
So anyways, there's a lot of good family fun things. The other thing that we really like about this is it's for adults. Children can play with their
About 12 and
families.
up.
With their families, but this is a fun activity for adults. And we just don't have enough fun as adults. You know, I mean, there's a bar across the street, you can go tanning over here, and there's plenty of restaurants, but where do you go if you just want to have some fun? Either with colleagues after work, or you want to celebrate an anniversary, or a birthday, or a girls' night out. You know, we have bachelor parties here, bachelorette parties. We've had a baby reveal.
We've had an engagement proposal here in Egypt. We wanted to propose in Egypt. She said yes.
That was so cool because the party knew they were in there, and then we had all the family and friends out here. And when he went down on one knee, we brought them all in to smoke and lights and the whole shot, and everybody was there inside Egypt. It's just something really, really cool. So that's what it is. We're family friendly. We keep our costs low so that everybody can afford it. We don't do the Groupon or all those discounts that are out there. We keep a price low that everybody can afford. You come in, you just pay for each player. Now what we do is we dedicate that there's a game master. So a game master is somebody that sits behind the scenes with headphones on, has got cameras, microphones, can totally watch the game, can kind of direct the flow of the game with music and video and such like that. But we have a dedicated game master for every game so that, you know, you've got the full attention. So once your group goes in, they're fully immersed into the theme of the room, and someone is dedicated to make sure that your experience is great. That's what we're all about. We want to make sure that everybody has a wonderful time.
And if you don't know how to play the game, your game master will help you through the game. So 3 different games. Take it away.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so we've already talked about Pharaoh's Revenge. We've got an Egyptian game. We also have Swallowed, which is a pirate's tale. It's a pirate game. This game you have the option of going into it blindfolded and starting at 1 foot shackled to a barrel. Totally optional, but it adds a lot of fun. It kind of sets the game up. And then we have Flight 220 because we're actually located on Highway 220. You start out in an airplane, go through the Bermuda Triangle, something happens. Okay, so 3 games. We try to be highly immersive in our decorations so that you have been transported to another place, another time. You're just in a different, it's just a different experience. And then you play your game. It's an hour game, although Flight 220 has 2 options, either an hour game or an hour and a half game for an extra $5. Normal price, which you're all wondering to know, is $25 a piece. Okay? It's an hour game, but have fun. Come. Go out to eat afterwards because people will talk about what you have done here for a long time because you're just reliving it, talking about how we did it, what it was. People love it. Yeah. In fact, last night I had somebody call me. They were going into the tanning salon and they saw people coming out and they talked to them. And she called me and she said, I have to come, tell me more, tell me everything because these people walking out had such a great time. We're coming.
Okay, so locked-in escape rooms right here in Clay County, and we're glad that we're here. We're glad we're getting such amazing support from the community, and that's it.
All right, very good. Thanks, guys. That was awesome.